Listen, sweetheart, a lawyer just told me a secret about debt that changed everything. My dear, here's the truth. For too long, we've carried the silent burden of bills, the knot in our stomach every time the mailbox beckons. You might see endless bills, but I see an opportunity for freedom, a chance to reclaim the peace you absolutely deserve. If the weight of endless bills is making you dread opening the mailbox, this will feel like opening a window to pure, refreshing relief. Today, you'll learn the tiny, powerful sentences that let you legally walk away from 6 specific debts every single time. We're talking about real, actionable strategies, my dear, not vague hopes. This is not vanity, it's freedom work. Before the kettle sings, grab a small sticky note and write this down, clearly, boldly, in your clearest hand. I do not acknowledge this debt. Send validation in writing. Now, take this powerful little phrase and put it right on your ID or tuck it into your wallet card slot. This isn't just a piece of paper, sweet friend. This little note is your shield, a micro practice ready in your pocket, instantly available against those unwelcome, often aggressive debt collectors. This is your quick win today, your 1-minute protection. This simple phrase can absolutely transform how you handle those intimidating, sometimes badgering calls. It empowers you, giving you back control when they try to steal it. Remember it. Practice saying it aloud, even quietly, until it feels natural, until it feels like your asterisk truth. It's your new non-negotiable script, a quiet act of defiance. Now, let's talk about those 6 specific debts you might not have to pay. We're going to dive deep, but keep it easy, okay? This is about empowerment, not overwhelm. Each step is a step towards your financial peace. First, old debts past the statute of limitations asterisk. Friend, let's make this easy, why it matters. These debts have an expiration date, a legal best-by date that creditors often hope you forgot, conveniently. Collector calls can feel aggressive, even threatening, designed to push you into immediate action. But your rights are clear, written in stone in consumer protection laws. Imagine the immense peace of knowing a debt collector has 0 legal standing, 0 power over you. That's precisely what we're aiming for here, darling. Last spring, Betty, a spirited woman of 72, was getting relentless calls for a gym membership from over 10 years ago. Her knees had started to ache long before she stopped going, but the billing kept coming, then the aggressive calls. It felt like a world-ending problem, an endless annoyance that stole her morning peace, disrupted her quiet afternoons. She'd even tried to reason with them, explaining she hadn't used the gym in a decade. Each call left her feeling diminished, stressed, and even physically tense, her shoulders tight with worry. But then she remembered our little secret, that simple, powerful phrase from her wallet card. Situation: Betty was hounded daily by aggressive calls for a debt over 10 years old, a gym membership she no longer used and felt too guilty to argue about. The relentless calls caused significant anxiety and stole her peace. Choice: instead of arguing, ignoring, or feeling guilty, she chose to use the exact script from her wallet card. She decided to assert her rights calmly. Change: the very next time the phone rang, Betty took a deep breath, then calmly, clearly told them, I do not acknowledge this debt. Send validation in writing. She repeated it word for word when they tried to interrupt with their usual scripts. The calls stopped within days. She found peace, and that specific debt vanished from her life legally. It was a victory for her peace of mind. What to do, my dear? Do not acknowledge the debt. This is absolutely crucial. Never, ever make even a small payment, as this can inadvertently restart the clock, refreshing the statute of limitations. It's like giving a zombie debt new, fresh life. Always, without exception, request a debt validation letter in writing. This forces them to prove the debt is legitimate, prove it's yours, and prove it's still within the legal collection period. Know your state's statute of limitations for various debts. It varies widely, but most fall within 3 to 7 years. A quick, empowered search for your state statute of limitations debt will arm you with this vital knowledge. Your exact line when they call is simple, and it must be consistent every single time. I do not acknowledge this debt. Send validation in writing. This approach works because clear, consistent scripts shorten calls and speed clean resolution. They often move on to easier targets once they realize you know your rights and won't be easily intimidated. Red flags here are obvious: admitting it's your debt or making even a small payment. Those can trap you, dear, creating a fresh legal window for them to pursue you. Remember the calm power formulation. You're not being difficult, You're simply being clear, firm, and fully within your legal rights. Speaking of clear boundaries, sometimes debt comes from a place of grief, a time when clarity feels impossible when our hearts are heavy. Let's gently approach the next one. Next, let's talk about debt from a deceased spouse that wasn't joint asterisk. My dear, here's the truth. You might not be personally responsible for these debts, and it's essential to understand that. This is an incredibly tough time, one filled with heartache, confusion, and often profound loneliness. Creditors, unfortunately, sometimes try to collect from surviving spouses, preying on grief, guilt, or simply a misunderstanding of the law. They bank on you being too overwhelmed, too vulnerable to question them. They exploit your natural empathy. Martha's beloved husband, George, passed suddenly after a long, loving marriage. Soon after, while she was still navigating her profound grief and the maze of funeral arrangements, the collection calls began for a credit card solely in his name. The balance wasn't huge, perhaps a few $1,000s, but the relentless, almost daily calls added immense emotional weight to her already crushing mourning. She felt a burden of guilt, as if she should pay it, even though it wasn't her card, wasn't her signature. It was overwhelming, a dark cloud adding to her sorrow. She worried desperately about how this would affect her modest savings, her future security. Situation: Martha was deeply grieving her husband's death and started receiving aggressive collection calls for a credit card solely in his name. She felt a profound burden of guilt, financial pressure, and deep emotional distress. Choice: a compassionate friend, a retired legal secretary, advised her to seek information about spousal debt laws in their state, reminding her that grief makes us vulnerable. Martha, though tired, chose to educate herself and seek professional advice. Change: she learned that in her state, only his estate was liable for debts solely in his name, not her personal assets. Armed with this vital knowledge, Martha directed all inquiries appropriately. She used a firm, yet gentle, script, an English micro-move that showed her confidence. She protected her personal assets and, more importantly, found a profound measure of peace in knowing she wasn't legally obligated to pay a debt that wasn't hers. The estate, overseen by the probate attorney, handled it without her having to shoulder the emotional or financial burden. She could finally focus on healing. What to do? Understand your specific state laws regarding spousal debt. Generally, individual debts are the responsibility of the deceased person's estate and are paid from its assets before anything is distributed to heirs. Do not pay or promise to pay anything until you confirm your legal obligation. Direct all creditors to the estate of your late spouse, not to you personally. If there's no estate, or if it's insolvent, meaning there aren't enough assets to cover the debts, the creditor may simply have to write off the debt. You are not responsible for what you did not sign for, darling. Your exact line is firm yet gentle, an English micro-move that commands respect and clarity. Thank you for waiting. My dear, the estate will handle that. Please direct all inquiries there. Or, if you need to be brief and assertive, especially on a long, hard day, I'll be brief. My top concern is that this is a matter for the estate. Please contact name of executor attorney at phone number. This is a calm power formulation. You're not being difficult, you're being clear, during a time when you have every right to protect your peace, your assets, and your emotional well-being. It's an act of self-preservation, not selfishness, and it's completely legal. Now, let's shift our focus to something many of us face: the labyrinth of medical bills, a true maze for even the most organized among us. Third, let's tackle medical bills with insurance denials or billing errors . My dear, you deserve accurate billing, every single time. And let me tell you, errors are far more common than you think, a shocking number, in fact. What's more, appeals work more often than you expect, far more often than we are led to believe. This isn't just about money, it's about respect for your hard-earned dollars, your health, and your peace of mind. Clara, a meticulous woman who prided herself on managing her affairs with precision, faced a huge, bewildering hospital bill after a minor outpatient procedure. Her insurance denied a big chunk, citing "not medically necessary," a phrase that always feels like a dismissal. She felt utterly hopeless, the digits on the bill blurring into a daunting mountain she couldn't possibly climb, ready to just pay it all to make the stress disappear, to make the bad feelings stop. The thought of fighting it, sifting through endless paperwork, making countless calls, felt like another illness entirely. Situation: Clara received a daunting hospital bill with a significant insurance denial, feeling overwhelmed, defeated, and ready to just pay it to end the stress. Choice, instead of immediate surrender, she remembered a friend's calm, firm advice. Always question, always appeal. She decided to appeal the denial, even though it felt like a monumental, impossible task. She requested an itemized bill, something she hadn't considered before, a tiny flicker of hope. Change, during the tedious appeal process, which took several calls and letters over weeks, a miracle happened. They found a simple, crucial coding error. A single-digit mistake, a misplaced code, had completely changed her coverage for the procedure. Once corrected, her insurance covered almost the entire bill, reducing her out-of-pocket expense from thousands to mere hundreds. She saved thousands of dollars and, more importantly, gained immense confidence simply by asking, by persisting, and by staying firm. What to do? Always request an itemized bill, not just the summary statement. Scrutinize every single line. Look for duplicate charges, incorrect dates, or services you didn't actually receive. Appeal all denials, even for seemingly small amounts. Persistence absolutely pays off in healthcare billing. Don't be afraid to ask for a supervisor or even the hospital's patient advocate. If you end up having to self-pay, negotiate a lower cash price before you make any payment. Hospitals often have charity care programs or significant discounts available for prompt cash payment. You just have to ask, politely but firmly. Your exact line for the clinic is clear, direct, and empowering, a quiet assertion of your rights. My top concern today is this bill. What are my options for appeal and when do we follow up? Be polite but unwavering. This approach works because clear scripts shorten calls and speed clean resolutions for often complex billing issues. And on tired days, remember the science here. Financial stress elevates cortisol, that nasty, exhausting stress hormone. Even just the act of preparing to make a call can trigger it. So before you call, take 3 long, slow, deep exhales. This simple micro-practice nudges your vagus nerve back to calm, making you clearer, more resilient, and more effective for the conversation ahead. Your body and mind will thank you. From the stress of medical bills to the subtle, almost invisible drain of forgotten expenses, let's uncover those silent budget leaks that can add up faster than you think. Fourth, consider unused subscriptions and memberships. My dear, here's the truth. Hidden fees and forgotten auto-renewals drain your budget silently, like a slow, unnoticed leak in your financial bucket. These are sneaky little traps that gather pennies and turn them into pounds over time, quietly eroding your savings. We older women, who value wisdom and frugality, who learn to make a dollar stretch, didn't survive this long by throwing money away on gimmicks or things we don't actively use. That's old-school wisdom, darling, passed down through generations. Helen, a friend of mine, a sharp woman in her late 60s with a keen eye for details, realized she was still paying for a magazine subscription she hadn't touched in 3 years, the unread copies accumulating dust in the corner of her living room. Another dear friend, Joan, discovered an old streaming service auto-renewing for ages, even though she'd switched to a different, preferred platform a year prior and hadn't logged in once. These weren't huge amounts individually, perhaps $10 or $15 a month, but combined, they were a significant, unnecessary drain on their fixed incomes. Situation: Helen and Joan were unknowingly paying for subscriptions and services they no longer used, silently draining their budgets month after month. Choice: Helen, inspired by a financial podcast, committed to a monthly review of her bank statements, circling any recurring charge she didn't immediately recognize or actively use. Joan, seeing Helen's success, followed suit, making it a regular, sync smile, ritual while sipping her morning tea. Change: when Helen called to cancel her magazine, they tried to upsell her, offering special deals. But she stayed firm with her script, politely but unwaveringly stating her intent. She saved a small fortune just by paying attention and making that one crucial call. Joan discovered she had been paying nearly $20 a month for over a year for a streaming service she hadn't logged into. With one polite, firm phone call, she canceled and even managed to get a partial refund due to their auto-renewal policy not being clearly communicated in the past. They both discovered a newfound financial clarity, a sense of control, and a sweet boost to their monthly cash flow. What to do, darling? Review your bank statements monthly for recurring charges. Circle any you don't recognize or actively use. Make this a 1-minute win, a joyful task of reclaiming your money. Call companies directly for cancellation, state your intent clearly and firmly. Be prepared for retention specialists to try and keep you. Just repeat your intent without wavering. If you face resistance, sometimes disputing an unauthorized charge directly in your bank app or by calling your bank can work, especially if you have proof of non-use. Your exact line for money matters, firm and clear. Please cancel my membership and refund any charges from specific date. To the original method, please. Be specific, be polite, be firm. Plans on paper survive parking lots, so keep those statement reviews a consistent habit. Make it your sing smile ritual, reviewing while you sip your morning tea, a moment of peaceful vigilance. Red flags are always around here. Auto-renewals without clear consent or high-pressure sales tactics designed to keep you subscribed when you've clearly stated you want to cancel. Don't fall for them, darling. Trust your wisdom. Now, let's talk about protecting your biggest investment, your sanctuary, your nest egg, your cherished home. Fifth, let's talk about home repair liens from unscrupulous contractors asterisk. My dear, here's the truth. Your home is your sanctuary, your nest egg, likely your biggest asset. It must be protected fiercely. Unscrupulous contractors can threaten that security with unfair liens, turning a simple repair into a financial nightmare that can jeopardize your peace and your property. Evelyn, a spry woman of 75, needed her roof repaired after a particularly harsh winter storm. She hired a local contractor, one with a slick website and a friendly smile. He insisted on being paid in full upfront, promising a discount for immediate payment. Within weeks, the roof started leaking again, worse than before, causing water damage inside her attic and living room. When she called him, he refused to fix it without more money for unforeseen complications, and actually threatened to put a lien on her house if she didn't pay for these supposed extra repairs. She felt violated, her trust profoundly betrayed, and her home threatened, truly shaken to her core. Situation: Evelyn paid a contractor in full upfront for a roof repair that proved faulty, and the contractor then threatened an unfair lien on her home when she refused to pay more for fixing his shoddy work. Choice: feeling immense pressure, but also a deep sense of injustice, Evelyn refused to be bullied. She sought legal advice immediately from a local legal aid society, who advised her on her consumer rights. She also meticulously documented all communications, took photos of the ongoing damage, and kept a detailed log. Change: armed with vital legal knowledge and strong documentation, Evelyn was able to defend herself with quiet, firm power. The legal aid attorney helped her write a firm letter, stating her rights, outlining the contractor's breach of contract, and threatening legal action for fraud if he proceeded. The contractor, realizing he had no legitimate claim against an informed senior, backed down, evaporating from her life. Evelyn protected her biggest asset, saved her savings, and learned a powerful lesson about vetting contractors and never, ever paying upfront. What to do: always get written quotes and detailed contracts before any work begins. This document is your protection, your legal shield. Never pay in full upfront. Instead, use a clear payment schedule tied to completed milestones, e.g., 25% upfront for materials, 25% after framing, 25% after roofing is complete, and the final 25% only upon completion and your satisfaction. If a contractor threatens an unfair lien, consult legal aid or a real estate attorney immediately. Your exact boundary line when work is incomplete is firm and non-negotiable. I can't authorize final payment until the work is completed to contract specifications. I can offer partial payment for completed milestones, but not the final sum until I am fully satisfied. Remember, slow is cheap. Rushed is expensive. This is old-school wisdom, darling. We older women didn't survive this long by throwing money away on shoddy work or bad deals. Red flags are crucial here. Cash-only demands, no written contract, high-pressure tactics, or demanding full payment up front. Those are not just warning signs, they are glaring signs to walk away, my dear, and find a reputable, trustworthy professional. Always get at least 3 bids, check multiple references thoroughly, and verify licenses and insurance. This is your wisdom and frugality anchor, ensuring your sanctuary remains secure. Finally, let's talk about a debt that can feel like a stubborn shadow from the distant past, sometimes following us into our truly golden years. Finally, student loan debt that may qualify for discharge or income-driven repayment . My dear, here's the truth. This debt can feel truly overwhelming, an echo from decades past, especially if it's from helping a child or grandchild, or from your own commendable pursuit of continuing education. Don't suffer silently. Options absolutely exist, more than you might imagine. It's time to own your glow, darling, and confront this, not with dread, but with determination. Dorothy, a remarkable woman of 80, carried a heavy burden of old student loans for years, loans she'd taken out to get her teaching certificate many, many decades ago. She felt truly hopeless, thinking she'd die still paying them off, an endless stream of payments that felt like an unbreakable chain around her financial future. Her health was failing, making it harder to manage her finances and navigate the complex paperwork, and the stress was palpable, a constant thrum of anxiety. Situation: Dorothy at 80 was struggling with decades-old student loan debt, believing she had no way out, feeling hopeless, trapped, and profoundly stressed by the financial burden and her declining health. Choice: a compassionate social worker at her doctor's office noticed her distress and gently suggested she explore student loan relief options, explaining that rules had changed. Dorothy, though skeptical and tired, decided to investigate, making one hesitant call. Change: she learned about total and permanent disability, TPD discharge, a true lifeline for those who can no longer engage in substantial gainful activity due to health. With her doctor's empathetic help in completing the paperwork, she applied. The discharge was granted, completely wiping out her federal student loans, dramatically reducing her payments to zero. This freed her from a burden she thought she'd carry to her grave. She gained immense financial freedom and, more importantly, a profound sense of peace and dignity in her final years. This reframed her negative self-talk, transforming "I'm trapped" into "I am free, I am finally free." What to do? First, explore total and permanent disability, or TPD, discharge if a doctor certifies you cannot engage in substantial gainful activity due to a physical or mental impairment. This can completely wipe out federal student loans. Second, investigate income-driven repayment, or IDR, plans. These can adjust your monthly payments based on your current income and family size, sometimes reducing them to zero or even a very small amount. Third, seek accredited counseling from a nonprofit organization specializing in student loan debt. They can help you navigate the complex paperwork, understand your specific options, and be your advocate. Your exact line when seeking information is clear and direct. "I need information on total and permanent disability discharge for my student loans." Or, "I need to understand my options for income-driven repayment for my federal student loans." And here's something important for tired days, for those moments when the weight feels too heavy. If calling feels like too much, if your energy is low, find a trusted friend or family member who can sit with you or even help make those calls. This isn't weakness, sweet friend, it's profound wisdom, knowing when to lean on your community. Remember, on those sleepless nights when anxiety grips, practice your micro move. "Okay, I'm awake. Rest is still restorative. I'll breathe and go dim." That micro practice for anxiety applies here too. Cortisol rises before dawn, and debt stress certainly doesn't help. Long, slow exhales nudge the vagus nerve back to calm, so remember to breathe deeply and often. Even if walking is too much, do 10 gentle heel raises at the sink, or simply stretch your arms above your head. Every little bit of proactive movement helps you feel more in control, more embodied. My dear, here's the truth: you have immense power over debt. Knowing these 6 types of debts you can legally walk away from is just the beginning of your journey towards financial freedom. The common thread here, sweet friend, is knowledge, clear communication, and unwavering self-advocacy. Let's have an honest moment here, honey. So often, we avoid the mail, let calls go to voicemail, hoping the problem will just disappear into the ether. But silence only empowers the debt collectors. Your sticky note on ID phrase, "I do not acknowledge this debt." Send validation in writing is your constant, quiet reminder to engage with power, not fear. This simple shield against unwanted debt collectors, ready in your pocket, changes the dynamic completely. It transforms you into an informed consumer, not a vulnerable target. Here are a few more rhythm bridges, some wisdom and frugality anchors, and micro practices for continued peace of mind. Documentation is your best friend. Keep meticulous, organized records of all communications, payments, and validation requests. If it's not in writing, darling, it didn't happen. This old-school wisdom means you never have to scramble, you always have your proof. Know your rights, familiarize yourself with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA. This vital federal law protects you from abusive, unfair, or deceptive debt collection practices. If a collector harasses you, threatens you, or lies to you, they're breaking the law and you have recourse. Consumer protection agencies, don't hesitate to reach out to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, or your state's Attorney General if you believe you're being unfairly targeted or if a debt collector is violating your rights. They are there to help you, an often overlooked resource. 1-minute wins, after every phone call about debt, immediately jot down the date, time, name of the person you spoke to, and a brief, objective summary of the conversation. This 1-minute win saves hours of future stress and provides irrefutable proof. The shoe test, before signing any contract, especially for home repairs or new services, ask yourself, does this feel right in my gut? Could I confidently walk away from this deal if something felt off? If not, do the shoe test, walk away, think it over, get more information, get a second opinion. Your gut instinct is a powerful tool, honed by years of wisdom and experience. Empowering language, when you need to assert a boundary, remember the calm power formulation. I can't do that, but I can offer smaller, clear yes. For example, if a collector asks for personal financial details over the phone, I can't provide that sensitive information over the phone, but I can offer to review any validated debt you send in writing. Reframing debt stress, you might feel burdened, ashamed, or overwhelmed. But I see a strong, wise woman ready to take control, asserting her dignity and reclaiming her peace. Don't let debt define your worth. Your worth, my darling, is inherent, unshakable, and priceless. Seek resources, secure your peace. Which one of these debts feels like the heaviest burden right now? Which 2 habits will you start today to reclaim your financial freedom and peace of mind? Share your thoughts below. Your experience and courage can inspire someone else. This is not vanity, it's freedom work. I'm cheering for you, my darling. Remember, you have the wisdom, the strength, and now the knowledge to navigate this. Go forth, claim your freedom.